We are looking more into some issues in terms of access to rural health care across South Georgia. I want to bring in now WALB News 10's Lenah Allen to talk more about this now. And Lenah, we are investigating today after we know that shooting that happened at the park in Randolph County in Cuthbert that killed that 16-year-old. What more are you learning from your investigation today?
Correct. So like you said, this tragedy sparked this investigation. This is something that we've been covering well before this tragedy, but I specifically asked the mother of the victim, the 16-year-old victim, does she feel her son would have been saved if EMS services came quicker? And ultimately she says yes, this has been a problem and a known fact in this county that it takes about an hour to 45 minutes to get an ambulance to an emergency situation in Randolph County. And it's not just Randolph County, it's other rural areas. I spoke with Tommy Coleman, who is the Randolph County attorney, and he actually was able to give me some other documents through my open records request that show exactly why this problem exists, and it's because of funding in rural areas. I have these documents right here with me now that show back in 2024, the county, Randolph County, was being charged $80,000 and it grew to over $90,000 for 2 EMS ambulances to be in the county. And so this year they have changed that now with one ambulance in the area that cost $70,000. And of course now they're reassessing this issue following this tragedy, because ultimately we don't want more tragedies to happen because of a lack of medical resources. Yeah,
and speaking of, we know that the COVID-19 pandemic, it hit lots of hospitals hard, especially there in Randolph County when they had to shut their doors to the community. We know they served that community for quite a while. Are there any plans or any talks, discussions to make sure that hospital gets back open?
Right, and this is something our very own Caitlin Barker looked into on Tuesday, and the hospital authority did receive funding from Representative Sanford Bishop, and so they are looking to reopen that hospital. Hopefully, they're just reassessing funding, and I think the timeline that they're looking to reassess is this year going into next year and maybe open by 2027. But again, you can see that harsh impact with the closing of that hospital when people are having to travel 45 minutes to Albany or even longer to outside counties like Columbus to get those medical resources. And ultimately it is hurting these families that do need these medical resources.
Yeah. Gotcha. Were you able to talk with anyone directly in Randolph County, any families or people, residents who live in that area? What are they saying?
Right. More specifically, the mother of the 16-year-old that was killed in that Cuthbert shooting. Again, she feels that her son would be here today had there been an ambulance to her son faster. And we were able to clear up some of that controversy between the ambulance taking 45 minutes. The EMS service did get back to us and say they responded to the scene at 18 minutes, but that was a cargo vehicle that had supplies in it that would not have been able to transport the young man to a hospital. And so it did take 45 minutes to get an ambulance that would be able to transport him to a hospital. And so again, people in and around the county are expressing their frustrations and outrage that not only the hospital is closed down, but the county resources are lacking, and they just want some changes. And you'll hear later on from the county attorney, he feels that the solution lies within the General Assembly.
Gotcha. All right. Well, definitely looking forward to what comes out of this investigation. Of course, we'll be looking for that beginning first at 4. Lenah, thank you. Let's get now to some other stories.